Hey guys, how are you doing? It's Catherine, and insanely exciting news today. I am up bright and early. You never catch me up this early. Why am I up so early? To play with Midjourney version 7, which just dropped. It is awesome. It is so good, guys. And there are a few ways to get the best out of this, and I want to share them with you. And I want to tell you about some of the features that are in version 7. It's important to note that this is just the alpha version of V7, which means that it's just going to get better and better. And not only that, but they have given us a roadmap which says expect new features every week or two for the next 60 days. That is incredible. And they say of all the features coming, the biggest one is going to be character references and object references in V7, which is really exciting. That means consistent characters, and objects means that you can create things like mock-ups consistently. So consistent characters and objects with the V7 capabilities is some really exciting news. But that is on the way. What they have given us now is already amazing. And the more I play with it, the more I'm sitting here just going, wow, wow. I don't think I've ever said wow so many times playing with AI, but this is just blowing my mind. Where do I start? Well, first of all, if you haven't got my style reference guide yet, go get it, because those styles look good in V6, but I've been playing with them in V7 and they look incredible. We'll have a look at those in a moment. I'm also going to talk about coloring book images, because you can make some really cool coloring book images, especially for adult coloring books. Absolutely amazing. And I'm also going to show you a few tricks for getting the best out of these images, because there are a few things you can do that take these images from wow to, oh my gosh, I can't even. And I haven't yet mentioned the draft mode and voice mode, which are also absolutely mind-blowing. If you have heard of vibe coding, this is vibe arting, vibe art creating. It is amazing. If you haven't heard of vibe coding, don't worry about it. It's when you code by talking to your computer. It's what all the cool kids are doing these days. But this means you can give Midjourney plain English instructions and it will convert those into Midjourney prompts. So you don't have to be amazing at prompting, you just have to have a basic idea. But you can talk with Midjourney now and create amazing images, like co-working with Midjourney. It's all amazing. Let's take a look. First of all, let's start with something simple. So I'm going to go to my settings and make sure that V7 is turned on. Great. Bear in mind that you will have to do personalization before you can use V7, which means that you have to go over to this tab here, the personalization one, and teach Midjourney what you find beautiful. And you do that just by ranking pairs. It says, do you like this image or this image? And you just click through. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes, and you just tell it what you want to see. So 5 to 10 minutes and you get a personalization code. So you do need to do that before you can start running V7, but it's absolutely worth it, because it means that the images that you get match your aesthetic. They are what you want to see, which is really, really cool. So let's start with a really simple example. I'm going to do pear tree with a bird. And we'll give it an aspect ratio of 4:3, which is landscape. So it's 3 from top to bottom, 4 across. And let's check we've got V7 turned on. Yes, we do. So let's run it. And what I'm going to do is run this in real time, so you can see how quickly images generate in this version. If this was ChatGPT, you would be in the kitchen right now having a cup of coffee and derping around. Midjourney is almost done. Look at that, we're at 83%, and these pictures are looking cool. So this is basic Midjourney V7 with a simple prompt. Okay, it looks all right. These images are kind of cute. That one's sweet, I like it. But let me show you some magic. If we run this prompt again, we can add some different options to this. I'm going to do stylize 800. I'm going to do stylize 1000. And I'm also going to try style raw. And let's see what this does. So check this out. This is Stylize 800. And I think that is really beautiful. You see that image? I think that's cool. Then it's given us a couple of photographs, and actually that's a gorgeous photo. Look at the detail on those flowers. Looks so, so good. And then another illustration. And this looks like something you would see in a picture book. It looks pretty awesome. And this is with Stylize 1000. And see, there's an illustration. There's another one. And that one is really, really cute. And here's a couple more that I did earlier if you want a few more examples. So this is with Stylize 500. There we go. These are looking really cute. I love that one. Isn't that a gorgeous illustration? Can you see that on a book cover? I love that one. So what I noticed with V7 is that Stylize can really take your images to the next level. But it brings it up to images like this, which I think are just incredibly stunning. They look so, so good. When you upscale those, they're going to look even better. Now, the opposite of Stylize is Style Raw. And this is what Style Raw does. So it takes it very literally, the prompt. It gives you a pear tree with a bird. So there's the little bird there and some pear blossom. And these are much more realistic images. So if you want to go for photographic realism, use Style Raw. And if you want something really beautiful, try using Stylize. And the more you use your personalization code, so the more you rank images and say, I like this one better than this one, the more you do that, the better your images will become because they will reflect what you want to see. So I want to show you guys something. This is my style reference guide, and you can download it for free on Gumroad, or you can buy it on Amazon right now. And if you do that, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. So I'm going to take one of these style references, and I made this book for version 6. So let's go over to Midjourney, and I'm just going to try a simple prompt. I'm going to say tiger, and we're going to run this in V6, and I'm going to give it the style reference. And I'm going to put it in aspect ratio 4:3, again, landscape. And let's see what this looks like. That still looks pretty good. These are the V6 tigers. So this is what that style reference looks like in version 6. So let's give that a run now in V7. So I'm just going to put in the same prompt, tiger. And one thing I have noticed is that V7 is more responsive to more complex prompts. So if we want to say tiger in a jungle, for example, that will work really well with V7. So let's try running that. Okay, check it out. Let's take a look at these images. So this is the version 7 of this prompt. And I think it looks absolutely stunning. Look at the detail on the tiger's fur there. The other thing that they have said is that hands, feet, they've been improved in V7. And I think they're looking amazing. So you shouldn't be getting so many wonky objects and hands. That is just an incredible image. Like, you can't really argue with that image. It looks so good. And then this is just the standard prompt of tiger, and that looks pretty good as well. So I love the detail on this. It's much more detailed in version 7. The images that it gives you, more detailed. And let's try this with Stylize as well. Okay, so this is Stylize 500, and I think this looks really nice. Wow. Oh my gosh, look at his fur and the green eyes. I think that's a beautiful image. And then stepping up the stylization a bit. That is such a dramatic picture. Wow. That one, a little bit weird. That one, though, is gorgeous. And these tigers look pretty perfect to me. I'm not seeing any strange whiskers. Like, even the whiskers look good. And I'm seeing good paws. I'm seeing good eyes. Looks so good. And then this is the raw version. So what is really interesting about this is I've taken a style reference, which has very strong styling, and it's tried to turn this into a more photographic image. So have a look at that. Whoa, it's like if you took this style reference and made it real. So it's a really good blend. I think what Midjourney is doing now is really, really cool with this. I love this. Another thing that I've noticed with V7 that I really like is that it's better at diversity. I just created these images from one of the prompts in my style reference book. And you'll notice in V6, I used the prompt beautiful ladies in pretty dresses. And almost every time I ran that, I just got white ladies. And that's the kind of image that I was getting in V6. Still beautiful images, but kind of lacking in diversity. And I found that if you want to generate anyone that's not white, you have to specify a race. Now, this is in V7. I did that same prompt, beautiful ladies in pretty dresses, and look at the results from that. So really different, really pretty as well. In fact, let's try this prompt with Stylize and see what that comes up with. So gorgeous images. This is Stylize 500. Really pretty. This is Stylize 1000, and this reminds me of some really pretty mangas that I've seen. Wow, these look so good. And then this is the raw version. So this is when you take that style reference and make it real, which really blows my mind. I think these look so pretty. And I'm already seeing comments that photographs and pictures of people in Midjourney 7 look more real. They don't have that super model look with the freckles that a lot of V6 images had. These are really looking like incredible images. But you see what's so beautiful? Even when you add a style reference and then make it raw, it makes a literal realistic image, but it still incorporates that beautiful style reference into their dresses. Here's another reference that I tried, and I loved the result. I did princess, and then I used that style reference, and it just looked so pretty. I love the texture that it put into this. Gorgeous pictures, and when you upscale them, they will look even better. Even my Highland cows look better. See the Highland cow? This is the Highland cow in V7. What a great image. Can you imagine that on a poster or on some wall art? And that style raw with the same style reference. It even tries to make it kind of realistic. Isn't that funny? And I want to try something a little different. This style reference very much does hand-drawn styles. So let's see how this looks in Midjourney V7. So I'm going to do a simple prompt like girl shopping in grocery store. And I'm going to give it this style reference. And let's give it an aspect ratio of 3:4, which is portrait. And I'm also going to give it a more specific prompt. So let's try something like sketch of girl shopping in grocery store. So check it out. I think this looks really stunning. So this is just girl shopping in grocery store. And these are pretty good images, actually. They're really cute. And it's got some little squiggles there. Remember, these aren't real signatures. It's not like they've stolen the images and put the signature in. They're just putting a signature because that's what you would expect to see on this style of art. So you can easily go in and just edit that out in the editor. There's a few more there. So this was sketch of girl shopping in grocery store. And you can see that it's much more prompt adherent. So when we just said girl in grocery store, we did get a photograph. Although I love what it did with the style reference. It put it on the pictures in the grocery store and on her bag. And then this is with Stylize turned on. And I think this looks absolutely amazing. Like, I don't think anyone would look at this and say that's an AI picture. These look like such amazing pictures, and they've got so much character in them as well. And because this is so much more prompt adherent, you can specify more details like her age or her hair color. You can specify how you want the monster to look, the color of the monster. These are super cute. I love the grumpiness there. So let's move on, and I want to show you a couple of things now. I want to show you some coloring book images, and also I want to show you the amazing draft mode and voice mode features. So this is draft mode. If we turn on draft mode, you can just talk to it in plain English. You can say, coloring book picture of Newfoundland dog. So you don't have to give it any fancy words or extra prompting because it does that for you. Look at this. Draft line art of a Newfoundland dog, detailed and intricate coloring book style. So it's put me out of a job AI yet again is trying to put me out of a job. I don't need to teach fancy prompting anymore because it does it for you. You just say, give me a coloring book picture, and it writes the prompt for you. Amazing. These images look great. And of course, what you can do is put them in Tangent Crystal to take all the gray out. And I'll show you that in a moment, because Tangent Crystal is amazing for this. It will turn all of these images that you have into black and white vectors, and it will make them look stunning. And then you can do all kinds of cool things with them in tangent templates as well. But let me continue with draft mode. And this is where it gets really cool. You can turn on voice mode as well. Okay, can you give me a coloring book picture of a Newfoundland dog in the park? And I want it in a simple children's style. So I want a coloring book picture suitable for children. Look at that. It is drafting. Wow. How easy is that, guys? Anyone can do this. You can just create a coloring book picture just by talking to Midjourney. This looks great. Can you please make another set of these? And this time I want the Newfie dog in a garden with some roses, and I want really strong black lines. Can you make the Newfie dog cuter and make sure it's a Newfoundland dog? I want him to be really fluffy. And I want really cute, maybe kawaii style. Check it out. How cute is this? So now, I'll turn off voice mode. Now we end up with some really gorgeous images like this. So I'm going to download this. And I'm going to pull out my secret weapon, which is Tangent Crystal. And it is exclusive to our Imagine bundle, which is a full coloring book bundle with tons of classes by me, talking about the kind of coloring books people might like to buy, how you can find cool niches for your coloring books, and much, much more. There's all kinds of prompt ideas in there. So let's upload this image of the Newfie dog. And there you go. You can see already, if we just edit that, all of the grey has gone from this image. So there was grey on these flower petals here. All of that grey has gone. And you can just bring the brightness down a bit to make it stronger. And then you can use the eraser tool to get rid of anything weird. Like there's those little blobby bits there. There we go. Great. And then we save that. There you go. There is a really nice crystallized image that you can go ahead and download as a vector. And you definitely have the speed of creation with Midjourney. So it can generate dozens and dozens of images in the time it takes ChatGPT to make one image. But where Midjourney really excels over things like ChatGPT and Ideogram is that you can make more detailed pictures. So let's try something like this. Can you create a detailed coloring book picture of a space station in a comic book style? And I would like it in a portrait aspect ratio of 3:4. Talking to this feels like magic. Look at that. Sci-fi images generated in seconds. Okay, could you now create a space girl in this space station? I still want to keep it as a coloring book style and a comic book style, but make it a little more colorable. I don't want any gray or shading in this, and I want white spaces to color. But make the space girl in the foreground and make her look awesome. You see how much talking I did there? And it took everything that I said and converted that into a prompt. And it looks so good. Check out this image. So now I can take this picture, download it, and we can edit that in Tangent Crystal. If I bring the brightness down, there we go. We've got nice strong lines. And now we can create a whole sci-fi adult coloring book. At the moment, they haven't added the ability to use an image as a style reference, but I saw it sneak in for a minute earlier when I was prompting. So I think it's going to be here any day, literally in the next few days. So what you could do if you want to create a whole coloring book of these images is you can just use this as a style reference. And what I actually recommend, if you have Tangent Crystal, is that you download this as a PNG, and then you use the downloaded image as a style reference, because this has stronger black and white in it. It has stronger black lines. So if you use this image, the crystallized version, as your style reference, then that will give Midjourney a better style to replicate. And you can end up with a whole coloring book of images in the same style. So it looks like they haven't put that in yet for V7, but I think it's literally around the corner. Like, it might be today, tomorrow, next week, but it will be very, very soon. And they have promised V7 character references. So, for example, if we like this girl and we want to create a whole story about her life on the space station, that is coming very, very soon to V7. So you'll be able to create more images with the same character. So this is another great image that it's given us. And you can also, of course, use the editor. So if we don't like this thing, it's too wobbly and weird, we can go in and change that. And we can change this and get rid of those blobby bits there. And you can add a prompt to say clean lines in the window and then just run that. And I tend to run my edits a few times just to save time. So it's added some variations on this and makes a little bit more sense. So if we take this and put it in Crystal, we can just bring the brightness down on that. And now that's a pretty strong coloring book picture. So looking really, really good for Midjourney V7, and loads more on the way. They have promised us an update every week to 2 weeks for the next 2 months. I can't wait to see what they've got for us. I hope you have so much fun trying out V7. And also, don't forget to download my style reference guide. It is free on my Gumroad, link down there. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you get all my future videos. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.